Get in there, my son. What's going on, everybody? It's the Flying Pig here on Flying Pig United. Good afternoon to you all. With another cheeky little stream here for you lads and lasses with the latest Manchester United news and the latest goings on at the football club, as well as the transfer news and the latest dealings in regards to recruitment. So we're going to get onto it in this video. Plenty to discuss this afternoon, guys. Happy Thursday. How are we all doing today? Thank you very much for joining us. How are we all doing? Let's see who is in here. We've got Duke of Rodtown, Wiggy, James Smith, Rajat. How you doing there, my friend? Fire up. Batman Night Fan, great to see you, bro. Mr. U, Momo Mino, the Vutinator. Fire up, CZ Bam, Langy86, what's going on, dude? Chris Barker, hello to you, Momo Mino, Milinkovic as well is getting in the live chat here, what's going on? And everybody else as well, get yourselves in the live chat, say hello, do us a favour at the start of this stream and smash that like button on it, give us a massive thumbs up. Gungshi, what's going on, you legend, welcome aboard. Mighty Gamer, Andrew Kendrick, DJ Disco Dave, Naz786, Yates, and everybody else as well. Smash that like button if you haven't done so, guys. Hit the thumbs up on the stream. Share us around on social media. I've pinned the tweet to the top of the live chat there. Go over and give us a cheeky little retweet. You know it makes sense. And we'll shout you out later on in the show. Welcome in as well to Mike Hill. Good to see you again today, mate. The Hoot Man, Chris Barker, V Cobra, and everybody else. Wiggy, all the mods, all the members. Thanks for getting in, guys. Plenty to discuss. Let's do this. Bruno Fernandes is the new captain of Manchester United. Come on. The Portuguese Magnifico. Yes, get in there. The Portuguese Magnifico has been made the new captain, guys. Happy days. We knew this was coming, to be fair. He's the standout candidate, really. There's obviously a few other candidates that maybe could have been given the armband as well, such as Casemiro would have been quite cool to be captain as well, just because he's a beast, aka Casemiro. Maybe even perhaps Rafael Varane with his pedigree and his experience and what he's won and been there, done that, all that sort of stuff. Perhaps even one or two others you could argue would be decent captains. But I think ultimately we have reached the right conclusion here, which is to award Bruno Fernandes the captaincy. Ten Hag not messing around. We sort of knew this was coming because obviously last season when Slabby Maguire fell out of favour and was clearly not playing regularly and was just a complete meltoid, Ten Hag seemed to go to Bruno Fernandes and give him the armband on a regular basis. And even during like the League Cup final, obviously Mags is there at the end, but really it's like Bruno's the man leading us, isn't he? Get in there, Curdy L. Johnson. Absolutely. Congratulations to Bruno. And congratulations to the 5 new legends of the Bacon Brigade, because Langy86 has gifted out 5 members on the channel. Get in there, my son. That's the opposite of Gashtastic, my friend. You absolute legend. Let's go. Guys, get some love in the chat there for Langy86. Thank you very much indeed for gifting out 5 memberships on the channel there, Langy. Appreciate you, my friend. Get in there, you beauty. Oh, yes. We've got 5 new members. Let's see which members you've been giving it to. Chris Barker, Milinkovic, Vagueness, Tito Harvey, and Josh Hernandez. All been given the membership by none other than the man Langy86 there. Thank you, Langy. Get your Phil Jones emojis in to welcome in these 5 new members and to celebrate Langy86 there. That's very kind of you, my friend. Thank you so much for that, Langy. What an absolute lad. Hashtag lad. Phil Jones is all around. Thank you, Langy. Absolute legend, sir. Just wait a second. We got another one. It's from Kieran. Kieran's gifted out a membership and it's gone to McKaylee. McKaylee has become a sponsor thanks to Kieran. Crikey, guys, it's all going on. I can see what's going on here. You guys are buzzing your tits off. You're sat there thinking, goodness me, yes, not only has Slabby been stripped of the captaincy, but it's now gone to somebody who's absolutely worthy. You're there going, bzz, bzz, buzzing your tits off, guys. You can't help yourselves. Thank you, Kieran. Thank you, Kieran. Thank you very much to Langy86 as well, going in there raw with the 5 memberships, and to Kieran, who's just gifted out another membership on the channel. Absolutely class act from you lads and lasses. Thank you very much, guys. Right, well, if that's not a reason to smash a like on the video, I don't know what is. Give us a like at the start of this stream. Let's get 100. And let's continue with the admiration of Erik Ten Hag's decision here to give Bruno Fernandes the captaincy. Let's read the statement on manunited.com. So this is on the website. It says Bruno Fernandes has been named as the new club captain of Manchester United. The Portuguese midfielder has already worn the armband for United on numerous occasions, and Erik ten Hag has confirmed that he will now lead the team on a permanent basis. Get in there, my son. Fernandes has scored 64 goals and contributed 54 assists in just 185 games for the club since joining in 2020. Meaty stats, mate. Hashtag meaty. Meaty magnifico. As captain, the two-time Sir Matt Busby Player of the Year will continue to drive the highest standards throughout the squad as United push for success in the 23-24 season and beyond. So I think it's good news all round, guys. Smash a 1 in the chat if you're happy with Bruno Fernandes being made the captain of Manchester United. Smash a 1, smash a different number and tell me who you would have liked if you think somebody else should have been made the captain. Because it's quite interesting. Not everyone will agree that Bruno is the right guy because, as I mentioned a couple of times before, he has shown at times he's melted a couple of times. Like in that Liverpool game where his head's gone and he stopped trying at the end of the game, you know, that's not good, is it? But overall, I think he's a fantastic leader and a great player and somebody that basically wears his heart on his sleeve playing for Manchester United. He knows what it's about to be a Manchester United player. He loves playing for Manchester United and he wears that badge with as much pride as anybody. So I think he's an excellent captain. Kieran says he's going to be a brilliant captain. Absolutely, my friend. I'm with you. I don't see how it can really fail. He's obviously got the abilities on the pitch to create and lead by example by actually being a good player. That's why Harry Maguire was such a shite captain for us. Not only because he's just like, oh, come on then, lads, let's do this. But also because, you know, he wasn't actually consistent enough to warrant being the captain of Manchester United. He wasn't consistent enough to deserve it, in my opinion. You've got to lead by example and be that baller type player if you want to be Manchester United captain, to encourage and drive everybody forward. And unfortunately, Mags was just absolutely poo-doo magoo at that aspect of leadership because he himself was having clangers every single week. Get in there, Gungshi and everybody else. Most people here, 90% of the live chat, happy with Bruno being the captain. Chris Barker says Martinez truly leads by example. Now, that is a great comment as well. Lissandro's obviously a fantastic candidate to be captain as well. Absolutely great shout. Great shout. He would have been a brilliant captain, no doubt. Bruno Fernandes, can't argue with that, though. He is obviously one of the main guys that deserves it. Rajat says Bruno, definitely. Aaron Agnew! Get in there. Aaron Agnew's gifted out a membership on the channel. Come on. Get in there. It's AA, guys. Aaron Agnew. Thank you very much for that, bro. He's gifted a membership. That's a raw tippage right there from Aaron Agnew. Oh, yeah, that's gone straight up my flagpole, that has. And it's gone to Cody Elder. Cody Elder has been chosen as the new member of the Bacon Brigade. Let's be having you. Welcome in, Cody Elder. And thank you once again to Aaron Agnew. Get your favourite emoji in there to celebrate Aaron Agnew's generosity there. Get in there, my son. Yeah, there you go, Gungshi. Great question. So let's ask the live chat who you'd like to see as the vice captain. I think it's between the two players you've literally just mentioned there. Although, if you look at the pre-season, the last couple of games for Manchester United in pre-season, I know they've been against subpar opposition, even Leon McGuff, but actually Raphael Varane's had the armband, hasn't he? But that's because it's been a very limited lineup and there hasn't been players like Casemiro in there. However, you know, the Butcher's been playing and yet Varane's had the armband, so maybe Varane could be the vice captain, who knows? But I actually think what you said there makes a lot of sense. I think if you look at the who really is going to fight tooth and nail for you, who will be fit and available most of the time, the Butcher probably makes the most sense to me, or Casemiro, one of those two. So that's a very good comment. Very good comment indeed. Cassie says Shane. Get in there. Absolutely. Johnny Evans says Gungshi. Wow, okay. Well, he knows what it's like to be a winner at Manchester United. He's got those experiences. He's got those winners' medals, those trophies, Champions Leagues medals, and all the rest of it at Man United. So you have to respect it. Martinez vice captain says Langy86. Stephanie Griffiths going for the Leecher. Hoop man, get in there, my son. Bruno says Pete Morris. Yep, absolutely happy days. Nobody interested in Rashford having the armband, says Fire Up. Okay, well, listen, I love Rashford. I think Rashford's a great player. And the thing is about Rashford is he's mank born and bred, isn't he? You know, and that gives him a lot of credit in regards to perhaps being a leader for Man United one day. But I don't think he's there just yet. You know, to be a leader as well, you've got to be quite a vocal character. You've got to be quite a gritty character. I'm not suggesting that Rashford's not a determined player, but he's not the most vocal of players on the pitch. At least I don't see him, you know, being the most vocal of players. is he the type of guy to really sort of marshal your team? And he can definitely lead by example, this guy. But I'm not so sure if he's captain material, because you've got to be more vocal on the pitch, I think. You've got to be more tenacious, perhaps. And also, I think it helps as you're a bit further deeper in the lineup. If he's playing as a forward player out wide left, how much verbal leadership can he actually be getting involved with in the pitch? Whereas if you're a centre-back, if you're a central defensive midfielder, you're going to be involved in more aspects of the play throughout the team. So therefore, it makes more sense for you to actually be a captain and to try and sort of, organise and to dictate and all that sort of stuff. So Rashford would have a more tough task doing that as a forward player, but obviously he is a great player and he's probably like 5th choice for me in terms of captain. I'd say captaincy, as of right now, Bruno Fernandes is probably the right choice. He's been given the armband. Beyond him, it's Casemiro, it's Lisandro Martinez, and it's Rafael Varane. And then after that, I would say that probably Rashford makes the most sense to be a captain, and then beyond that, probably like Luke Shaw. But, we're starting to clutch at straws a little bit here. So really, the first few that we discussed here, they're the best candidates for captain. Makes the most sense. I think Bruno Fernandes is the one. Get in there, my son. Bruno Fernandes has been given it. And, you can't really ask much more than that. Kevin Kilban thinks Luke Shaw should be a good vice-captain, though. Yeah, fair one. I mean, he was solid last season. He's had his ups and downs at Manchester United, but he's always carried on and seemingly going in the right direction. So, yeah, I can't fault what you're saying. Varane, says Curdial Johnson. Varane will be vice-captain. Could be vice-captain. He has been the captain in the first 2 games of the pre-season. Shout out the boy, Alex Bond. Absolutely. Shout out to Alex Bond there. No worries. Rashford's a politician, says fire up. Dave says, to be honest, I think the captain should be a midfielder, lead from the front mid and back. Yeah, that does really help. If you look at the best captains of Manchester United throughout history, you're talking about people like Brian Robson, talking about people like Roy Keane. These guys are captains because they're in the engine room of Manchester United. Well, not just because of that. Obviously, it's their personalities, it's their qualities, but certainly it helps that you're in the middle of the play. It helps that you're in the engine room of Manchester United's midfield. So I agree with you. I think it does help you if you're a midfielder or even a centre-back. Centre-backs make great captains as well. They've got most of the play in front of them. It's always handy for that to be the case. But, centre midfield, central defensive midfield, or Bruno Fernandes, who'll probably be playing more of a box-to-box or perhaps even the CAM role still, is a good candidate for captain. Mark says Rashford is a very good player, but I see no captain qualities in him. That's what I'm saying as well. Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying. It's like he's not the loudest. He's not the most vocal. He kind of gets his head down and gets on with it. And in one regard, that's one way to lead. But also, you do want somebody who's got a bit more bollocks about them. No disrespect. I'm not saying Rashy's not got bollocks. He's probably got a big space hopper bollocks, this guy. But I'm just saying, like, Lissandro the Butcher, he likes to get stuck in. He's not afraid to bark a little bit, bark the orders. Same goes for Casemiro. Same goes for Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes has constantly got a strop on, and some people might not like that. But actually, he's constantly demanding the very best from his teammates out there. You see that? You see the anguish on his face when somebody does something piss poor and he's like, fucking play the ball here, He's like that kind of guy. I mean, he himself takes a lot of risks, makes a few mistakes. He's not perfect, but he's the kind of guy who's really trying to will everybody on and expecting, really good performances from his teammates. So for that reason, it's a very, very good appointment from Manchester United to give Bruno Fernandes the nod. Definitely Andrew Kendrick. Brian Robson was a great captain, absolutely. Captain Marvel. Keno was a great captain as well for United. Who's your favourite captain for Manchester United ever, guys? Let's hear your thoughts and opinions. Who's your favourite captain ever? Rooney was a good captain in a different sort of a way, in a tenacious lead by example sort of way. But I don't see how anybody can look beyond Roy the Boy Keane. Roy the Boy Keane. That's your job. Just do your job. You're a disgrace and a nonsense. I'd be throwing punches at David De Gea if I was on his team. I wouldn't let him on the coach. He's a disgrace and a nonsense. He was absolutely brilliant, that man. What a boy. Robbo and Keane were the best, says Pete. Yeah. Keno says Jaheim. Roy Keane says Mike Hill. Keane says Dave. Cantonaro. Keane says Batman Night Fan. Keane says must play. Rooney says Stoic Savage. Robbo easily. Roy Keane says Leon Roy. Get in there, Don Berber. Yes, lad. He comes from Sporting like Cristiano. He goes left, he goes right. He's the captain because he's not shy. He's our Portuguese Magnifico. Get in there, you beautiful hero, Berber. Yes, lad. He is our Portuguese Magnifico. He is the captain of Manchester United. Captain Magnifico. I think that's what we got to call him from now on, don't we? You know? Captain Magnifico. I think we've got to start calling him Captain Magnifico. He's obviously going to be a big player for us. It kind of makes sense as well because he's always fit and available. If you look at his performances last season, they were generally quite consistent. But also, he played like 70 games for us in all competitions. The guy was a machine. Basically, a workhorse of which all the players in the top 5 leagues couldn't keep up with in terms of his appearances for Manchester United. So you want somebody to be leading your side who's fit and available and ready and who's going to be there to play all of the games as well and have that continuity. So that is a very, very good thing about Bruno as well. He's always playing. He's always up for playing. He's always fit. He's a very fit lad in terms of the conditioning. Hello, Sailor. Keane or Robson, says Gungshi. Roy Keane's the best captain. Hello, Fat Chinese Gaming. Good to see you, man. You're glad Bruno's the new captain. Absolutely very, very great. King Eric, Rooney or Roy Keane is for me, says Duke of Rodtown. Yeah, there you go. Exactly, Mark N. Precisely. Keane was a legend. Kevin Kilban, second best Irish player ever. Second best Irish player ever. Second best Irish player ever. Who's the best then? You're going to say Robbie Keane, or are you talking about George Best? But he's Northern Irish, isn't he? Does that count? I don't know. But surely he's the best, no? Who's the best? Anyway, Dennis Irwin, fair enough. Well, he's a great player as well, obviously. What a baller. What an absolute baller. He's obviously fantastic as well. Robbie Keane's a stoic. He was good. Wiggy, get in there, my son. I mean, Irwin, what a player. Absolutely unreal. Yeah, unreal. Definitely, Burber says Slabo to Bruno is like going from a go-kart to a Lambo. Very, very true. So we have now hopefully got rid of the melter. So just on Harry Maguire, guys, before we carry on, actually, I'll just take a moment to say thank you everyone who's in here for the show today. It's 5:34. It was looking like it was going to be a slow news day, but obviously once the news broke officially from Manchester United, I jumped straight on with the latest news. And we have got some transfer news to get into in a bit in the video as well. But as for now, smash that like button. We've got 138 legends watching, 63 likes. That's good. But it's Slabby Maguire-esque. Let's get that Bruno Fernandes vibe going with the like button. And smash that like button on it if you haven't done so. Let's get this sucker to 100 likes just like that. Nice one. Okay, so Maguire, reports are, he is obviously expected to maybe want to leave this summer based on what's happened, us signing Johnny Evans, the captaincy taken off of him. So I've seen a report today that Chelsea are not interested in Harry Maguire. So there were some rumblings the other day that maybe Chelsea would be looking at bringing on the slab. And to be fair, when I saw that first story initially, I thought, that's got to be a load of bollocks. You can't really be expecting a top side. And to be fair, Chelsea were mid-table last season, but you know what I mean. Like a big side to actually want Harry Maguire. But apparently they did, but there are some reports to suggest now that they've quelled their interest in Harry Maguire. And I don't blame them. He's on huge money, he's a big slab, his cranium is the size of 3 people's. He needs a bit of scaffolding in order to set him up at the stadium, and you need to remove the doors on your changing room in order to get him in there. So there's obviously a lot that goes into taking on Slabo Maguire at your football club. So the problem there is apparent for most teams. I could see him going to a lesser team. I could perhaps see him going to Newcastle United, though. If anybody's going to go for him, maybe Newcastle United, just because he might sort of fit in there with what Eddie Howe's doing. Who do you reckon's better, guys? Dan Burn or Harry Maguire? I don't know, actually. I mean, obviously, Maguire's Southgate's mate, but Dan Burn had a very good season last season, but who's actually better? Who's actually better? You know what I mean? Like, wouldn't Maguire be capable of fighting his way into that team? I don't know. I mean, Dan Burn. Nah, Dan Burn says must play. Burns says Chris Barker. Burns says Chico. Burns says Kieran. Dan Burn's better than Maguire. Fair one. Okay, but all I'm making the point is Dan Burns not insanely better than Slabo Maguire. And if they want quality and depth, if they want to have an extra player there, maybe they would be interested in taking him on. Whereas if you look at Man United's defenders, who we've got available with Martinez and Varane as the first choice, he's nowhere near as talented or as good as those guys. And then behind it, we've got a couple of decent players like Lindelof, and now Johnny Evans coming in, and Luke Shaw can play there, and Maguire's just not as good as those guys either. Whereas they've got Botman and Shah and Burn and these guys. I mean, maybe they would be interested in taking Slabby's, what I'm saying. There are some murmurs that Newcastle United could be interested in it, but hey, look, it's wishful thinking from my point of view. They're obviously a pretty good team as well, let's face it. They finished really high up there in the league and they did really, really well. And they had a ridiculously solid defence. Yeah, Chico, to be fair, why would you want to upset that? If you look at what Eddie Howe's done, they actually conceded the least goals in the Premier League last season with their defence that they had. So I guess why would you really want to upset that by allowing a big slab of a man into your ranks? Doesn't really add up, does it? But it's wishful thinking for me. I hope that they're interested in him. And beyond Chelsea and beyond Newcastle United, there's some reports that, yes, okay, West Ham could take him. They have just had a big cash injection from selling Declan Rice for 105 million. They could be looking at Scott McTominay and Harry Maguire in a double deal. If we could get £50 million for both of those guys, I think we'd be absolutely laughing all the way to the bank. And we'd have those melters off of our books. We wouldn't be paying the wages. And they get themselves players that actually do improve their team. You know, they do improve West Ham's team, I think, Maguire and McTominay. So let's hope that that's the case and that's a possibility of happening. It's the money that's going to perhaps fall down for the Maguire business. Maguire could play for the Dog and Duck. A very good point. 0793. Very poor, isn't he? FCG says Newcastle can afford Maguire, but Newcastle doesn't need Maguire. They can always go for someone else that's much better than Maguire. I mean, it's a fair point. He's on too much money. That's really what it is. If he was on 80k a week, they might take a punt on Maguire for 20 or 25 million because he can add depth to their defence, which is otherwise really, really good in terms of conceding the fewest goals. But as a player who's worth 200k a week, if you're going to pay 200 grand a week to a player, they've got to be like your starter. They've got to be the main man at the back there, being one of the ballers of the team. So I agree, Mr. U. He's almost unsellable. It just depends if there's a team out there who's desperate enough to do so. We do know that West Ham has a big fat wad of cash now, right now. And they do have somebody in charge who goes by the name of the Ginger Goblin, David Moyes. And David Moyes is the type of guy to go out there and spend 26 million on Marouane Fellaini. So, you know, you might well be keen on bringing somebody like Slabo Maguire in if the price is right. The price would have to be very little. And McTominay, you know, McTominay's way more likely to go to West Ham because he's on less money per week. He's not on a huge amount per week. And he's got that Scotland connection. And you know what they say about Scotsmen? They like to stick together, my son. That's right. So he's going to get a couple of Scotsmen in if he can. And obviously, Scott McTominay's one of Scotland's best players, to be fair to him. So it's not like he's a poor standard player. And he's versatile. And he's got a bit of mentality about him where he likes to get stuck in. He's aggressive. You know, I could see David Moyes actually really wanting him. So I think McTominay works quite a good job, does quite a good job over there at West Ham. Compost says McTominay improves no Premier League midfield. Okay, fair enough, but listen, they've just sold Declan Rice. They're going to have to get somebody in there. I don't think Scott McTominay's their first choice because, look, they're obviously trying to sign other players as well. I think they were trying to get Palhinha from Fulham, aren't they? And if that falls down, a cheaper option, maybe a third or fourth choice option, Scott McTominay might just happen. And in order to add a bit more depth there, and because of the Scottish connection, it's possible that it could happen. Zayn Miassi, how you doing today, Zayn? Thank you very much indeed for getting in here raw, lad, with a super chat. Zayn Miassi, thank you so much. Let's get a sue in the chat there for Zayn Miassi. Thank you, Zayn. Zayn Miassi says the following. Piggy, did you see our masterpiece? Timber could be buy of the season. We now have the best attack in Europe apart from PSG. You what? You're taking the absolute piss, Dane. Goodness me, you are a deluded individual, lad. Apart from PSG, City, Havertz back to his best, Arteta magic. What a load of absolute clunge nonsense there, guys. To be honest with you, Zemi, actually, no, I didn't see your so-called masterpiece. Because I don't like to watch a whole bunch of fucking pub standard size play throughout the summer holidays, mate. No, I don't. So, no, I didn't see your masterpiece, lad. What I did see is Havertz shitting the bed the other day, mate. Not being able to bang a bloody volley in from 17 nice crosses to him. Do you know what I mean? He's fucking shite, mate. Havertz back to his best. Goodness me. Anyway, I didn't see it, Zane. I'm glad I didn't see it. I won't be seeing it. Timber could be by this season, could he? He's going to be a good player for you, I actually think. Yeah, he's a good young player. Maybe he'll catch the Arsene Hojlund's disease, though, of pure outright mediocrity and bottle job worthiness. You know what I mean? Like, when players go to Arsenal, often what happens is they slip down in terms of mentality. They catch botulitis. Botulitis, it's a big, strong disease that's had a big influx really in since the post-Wenger era. You know, Botulitis is strong at Arsenal. Never mind coronavirus, guys. The Arsene Hojlund squad are trying to deal with Botulitis. And Timber could well catch that, my friend. It's quite possible. But could he be a good buy? Yes, he could be a good buy for you. He's a good buy. I think he's a good buy. I would have taken him at United in our squad, to be fair. But the difference is, would he even be getting in Manchester United squad? No! That's the difference, mate. He's not getting in ahead of Varane. He's not getting in ahead of Lisandro Martinez. So that's the difference, really. So, yeah, well done. You got yourself a second choice Ajax defender that Manchester United were perhaps thinking about getting if we couldn't get Lisandro Martinez, who you tried to get last summer and failed. And he went to us instead because we're a much bigger, better club with a better manager. That's right. So anyway, there you go, mate. Zamiasi, thank you for your delusional super chat there, my son. As always, it's an absolute pleasure to read it out. Thank you very much indeed for getting in there raw, lad. Nice one. Fair play to you. Let's see what the live chat says in response to you. He says, the bottler's giving it the big one, Zane. Pipe down. Absolutely sim. Zane's here. Absolutely bottle jobs, says Dancing with the Devil. Yeah, that's right. Arsenal fans were saying Ben White was the best right back. So true. I know. They were literally tossing off Ben White this time last year, mate. And now look at you. Pity Funk says best attack in Europe with Jesus as a number 9. He's nowhere up there in terms of the best attacks in Europe, are they? I mean, they're decent. They're decent, but I would argue that United's attack is better as soon as we've got an actual striker in there. I would argue that, obviously, yeah, PSG's is better. Man City's is definitely way better. Liverpool's is better. Arguably, anyway. Obviously, last season they were crap, but arguably better. There's lots of teams that are better. Bayern Munich, better. You know what I mean? Arsenal probably might squeeze into the top 10 best attacks in Europe. We'll see. Maybe not. Maybe not. Jesus never had 15 goals a season. Never had above 15 goals a season. There you go. I mean, Jesus had a good season for Arsenal last season before he got injured. He was actually pretty decent for them. But yeah, come on. He's not one of the top tier players around, is he? Bottling, it's an Arsenal thing you wouldn't understand. Pig. There you go, Chris Parker as well. Precisely, lad. Jesus doesn't even score goals, man, says Superstar. Good morning, Nathan Alanazi. I'm not doing too bad. Going, I hope you, Captain Bruno. Yeah, I'm happy about Captain Bruno, mate. I have to say, I think it's the right decision from Erik ten Hag. Had to make a big decision with who's going to get that armband. There was a few good candidates, but Bruno Fernandes is the one for me. Get in there, my son. Bruno Fernandes, the new captain. Happy days. Let's ask the live chat to rate that decision out of 10. How do you rate Ten Hag giving Bruno Fernandes the captaincy out of 10? It's a 10 out of 10 decision, guys, just to let you know. It's a 10 out of 10 decision because he's the right guy. He's full-blooded. He's passionate. He's committed. He's a really consistent player. He scores a lot of goals. He gets a lot of assists. He leads by example. He's got big Portuguese bollocks, my friend. So it's the right decision from Erik ten Hag, in my opinion. Zamiasi with another super chat here. Thank you, Zamiasi, for getting in here raw, lad. He says, our team is full of scorers. Odegaard? How many goals did Odegaard score for you last year? Martinelli? How many goals did Martinelli score last year? Saka? Jesus? Trossard? Balogun? All you have is Rashford and Bruno. All we need is Rashford and Bruno compared to those fucking mugs. Mate, look at the goals Rashford and Bruno score. Hang on a sec. Somebody go out there and do the maths. I would argue, right, that Rashford and Bruno, in terms of all competitions last season, probably scored as many as all of those players you've just mentioned there. I know Saka did score quite a few. I know Martinelli's bagged a few. But Rashford scored 30, and Bruno always scored quite a consistent amount. I would argue that those two players you've just mentioned have scored more than that whole list of players. Maybe close, and if not more, very close. You know what I'm saying? Rashford scored 30. But either way, you know, even if that's not the case, it's not that far behind. And you're talking about two players here. I mean, you've got a point. You've got a point. If you look at who scores all of our goals, last season, there wasn't that many people doing it. Anthony chipped in with a fair few. Bruno's obviously getting them. And of course, Rashford got the lion's share of goals for us last season. What Man United lacked was a proper number 9 who was going to score you 25, 30 goals a season. So we still have that problem as of right now. But we hopefully won't have that problem a lot longer because we are looking to bring in Hojlund, and if not Hojlund, then hopefully somebody else. So, you know, factor in those players that we could get. That should hopefully transform our goal scoring ability. But it's a fair point you make. I mean, if you actually look at last season, who scored all of our goals? there wasn't really that many people. It's a fair point in terms of getting like double figures and things like that. There really wasn't that many. So your goals are more spread out between your team. But I still think, you know, if you actually look at the amount of goals, there's not that much in it between all the players you've just listed and the 2 Man United players. Thank you very much, Langy86, for getting in here with a super chat, lad. He says, and still bottled it, Zane. So true. So even with all those players doing reasonably well last season, they did actually completely crumble it. Mate, their fall off at the end of the season was absolutely bottle worthy. Sharteta overseeing a serious case of bottleitis at Arsenal last year, didn't he? Just think about how bad that was. They were cruising at one point. It was in their hands. They were on the cusp of winning that first championship in 20 years. Only to completely melt it against teams they really shouldn't have melted it against. It was actually pathetic, wasn't it? Oh my goodness, what a bunch of bottle-worthy merchants. They were so bad towards the end of the season, they didn't deserve anything. So yeah, all that season, all that huffing and puffing, all of that for absolutely nothing. Bottle merchant gooners, says Stoic Savage, absolutely. But we do need Højlund. Yep, John Boycat says get Højlund. And we'll sort it. Absolutely well said. We do need to get a striker. We do need to get the goals. Højlund's obviously being worked on. So we'll talk about Højlund now, really, guys, seeing as we segued into it. Let's talk about Højlund. G-Wolf, what's going on, my friend? Ow! He says, can we have a drum roll and tell me who the new captain is, please? Get in there, my son. It's Bruno Fernandes, my son. Get in there. What an absolute don. Yeah, Bruno is the new captain. Happy days. Great, great addition there to the captaincy. Right, okay, let's get on with the transfer news then, guys. Let's get on with the transfer news. We've got a fair bit of transfer dealings going on at this club this summer. It seems even with the Glazers shithouses still here. Hopefully they're gone ASAP. Looks like there'll be a good while, though, before they are gone, but hopefully they're gone ASAP. Let's get on to the transfer dealings. So Manchester United are working on Højlund. He is our primary target now, it seems, for the next player to come in. Yeah, there may be 1 or 2 sort of squad merchants that might be coming in, i.e. Zion Suzuki or something like that. But the main big marquee signing that we're going for is Rasmus Højlund. I still fancy Kane myself. You know, he's somebody that can come in and change our goal scoring fortunes. But for what Ten Hag's trying to do, for what Ten Hag wants stylistically, Rasmus Højlund makes a heck of a lot of sense. And we do have an update from Fabrizio Romano just a short while ago today, which reads as follows. It says this. It says he understands that Man United will send the opening official proposal to Atalanta for Rasmus Højlund soon. This was about an hour ago. Man United want to avoid any hijack from Paris Saint-Germain as PSG keeps speaking to the players' camp. Højlund agrees terms with United as revealed days ago. So the situation now, obviously, he has agreed to terms with Man United from a verbal standpoint. He's interested in joining, desperate to play for United, wants to play in the Premier League, wants to play for Ten Hag, happy with the proposal on the table from Man United money-wise. And, you know, there's no problems there. It's just obviously between the two clubs to try and reach an agreement. Atalanta want a bit of clarity on this as well. Nice, guys. We're nearly at 100 likes. Keep hitting the thumbs up button and let's have a like spike and get to 100 likes. Please do give us a cheeky little like if you haven't done so. Get to 100. But yes, thank you, Vutinator. So there's a bid expected to be coming in, and Atalanta want a bit of clarity on this situation as well. So there is this report here from Alfredo Padula over in Italia, which reports that last night Gasperini and Atalanta had a meeting. The coach asked for a solution in 10 days. So, of course, they don't want this hanging over them all summer long. If they are going to have to replace this guy, if they're going to have to work out how they're playing this season and have the right personnel in there, they don't want that happening just near the start of the season. They want it happening as soon as possible. So reports are that the coach wants clarification on the situation with Rasmus Højlund, and if it can be done, to be ideally concluded within 10 days. So we could see perhaps a little bit of movement there. We could hopefully see Manchester United reaching an agreement reasonably soon with Atalanta for Højlund. As we've said, Fabrizio is looking for a bid from Manchester United coming very, very soon. So hopefully that's going to be coming sooner rather than later, and then we can start the negotiations and we can get this guy in very soon to have some sort of a pre-season with us. Yeah, he's not going to be in for the next few games, but, you know, could catch the tail end of the tour, the last couple of games, maybe be a part of the squad when we come back to Old Trafford for a couple of friendlies and start the Premier League campaign with us. We don't want to be signing players once the season's already started and having to bed them in then. We want them to settle in, get their house sorted, get their, mentality right for the new season, settle in, talk to Ten Hag, work with the teammates, work with the tactics, all that sort of stuff. So obviously Rasmus Højlund, it would be much better for Manchester United if we could get him in within the next 10 days. Hopefully that's true. I mean, you know how Manchester United operate in the transfer window. We're very slow. We're very mundane. And we always take a long time about getting deals done. So I am not that hopeful we'll be able to get it done in 10 days. 10 days would mean that it's done before the end of July. Who thinks that that will happen? Smash a 1 in the chat if you think that we'll sign Rasmus Højlund before the end of July. Smash a 1. Smash a 6 in the chat if you don't think we'll get him before the end of July. I don't think we will. I don't think we will. But as I say, this report from Alfredo Padilla reports that Gasperini and Atalant had a meeting and the coach wants the solution in 10 days. So there's quite a lot of ones coming in this live chat, though, which I like to see. Nice bit of optimism from the fan base here. Love that. Love that. Nice bit of optimism going on. Ezio doesn't think so. Vuti says yes. Jaheim says yes. Must-Play says no. Neither does Bell. Batman says no. Vincent says yes. And Johnny and Kane. Paul Liebenberg, hello to you, lad. He says no. No, says Chimana. And no, says Duncan and FCG. Fair one, guys. Yeah, I think most of us probably think that because of Manchester United's track record, or crack record probably makes the most sense. Actually, I was right the first time. Like, their track record of doing recruitment like they're on bloody crack is the idea there. They're so slow. But we only do quick transfers if it's the other club pushing it. Casemiro. Yeah, we've had 1 or 2 instances in the last few years where we've had like quite reasonably quick transfers, but most of the time they're long, drawn out, protracted negotiations. Think of players like Bruno. Think of players like Sancho. Man, they've rumbled on for several transfer windows. But obviously United do need a striker in this window, so we should be going to get somebody ASAP. Daz Sweet says Muani and Højlund. Højlund alone isn't enough. Well with you there, Daz, yes. Ideally for me, it would be get rid of all the guff players at United, generate the cash, go and buy Højlund and Kane. Just on that, Daniel Levy, he's going to have some serious minerals to go into this season with Kane's contract expiring in a year's time. If he's prepared to lose out on £90 million or £100 million this summer transfer window and allow Harry Kane to go to a rival next summer for free, he's pretty insane if you ask me. So I still think there's an outside possibility Man United could do a deal for Kane, or maybe he will go to Bayern, but I still think Kane could well leave Spurs this summer. But it's on Daniel Levy to sort of ride that situation out. If he wants to stick with Kane for the season and let him go for nothing, that's a big, bold move. Or they can cash in, reinvest, and just be resigned to the fact that Kane needs to go elsewhere. Definitely Chico Goblin. No striker in this window would be an absolute disaster. I don't think that will be the case. I'm pretty sure we have to get a striker. We should get 2 strikers. Because as I've said before, we've got Tony Marcia at the club. You can't trust Tony Marcia. He's about as much use as a chocolate teapot or a bloody ashtray on a motorbike, that guy. You know, he is literally pointless. He doesn't score that many goals. He actually did score a few last season for us, to be fair. He did do actually okay by his standards because he's usually even more injured than that. But he's unsaleable. He's on huge money. Even loan deals, probably nobody wants him, i.e. that move to Sevilla that didn't work out. He's an injury-prone merchant. He's not going to get that many goals. He's not worth the money that he's being paid weekly. We're stuck with the guy, but he's somebody that should be 3rd or 4th choice striker in the club. He shouldn't be starting games for us going forward based on what he's shown. We know he's got the abilities. We know he's a technical player, but when does he produce that? Probably about as much as me if I was on the pitch. Very, very little. Not that often. And aside from that, he's very injury prone, so he just can't rely on the guy. We have to get 2 strikers in this summer. Either that or get Mason Greenwood back in the pig inside. And I don't really want to see that necessarily right now. I'd much rather somebody else dealt with that situation on a loan capacity if we could do that, because of the PR backlash that we will have at the club and the fan bases and all the negativity that will be surrounding that situation. But even so, unless Mason Greenwood's going to be coming back into the side and being introduced, we need 2 forward players. Obviously, Greenwood is a talented lad. He's a great player. He's a scummer, but he's a great player. And he would solve a lot of the problems that Ten Hag has in that forward line, to be fair. He's versatile. He can play on the right, but he's also got what it takes to be a great number 9, I think. And he's only 21 still. So he could certainly do a great job for us. But he is a bit of a dirtbag. So would you keep or sell or loan Mason Greenwood just on that situation? But aside from that, we certainly do need to have 2 new strikers available. Whether one of those is Greenwood is another matter. But Kolo Muani, Rasmus Højlund, Harry Kane, something like that. 2 out of the 3 of those would be what we need. I kind of like Kolo Muani because he's a bit more advanced. He did get a bunch of goals in the Bundes last season. You can only take that with a pinch of salt, though, because a lot of players do well in the Bundes, come to England and shit it. But he is versatile. He can play right wing if you need him to. Terminate his contract, says Berber. Nemeke Bartholomew says Mason Greenwood stays. Loan Greenwood, says Kane's Gaming. Either sell or terminate his contract, says FGG. Sell or loans more likely. Loan, says Kane. Keep Mason, says Luan. Yeah. Get him to fuck, says the Hoop Man. Sell, says Langy86. We're only after one striker, according to Romano earlier in June, Pig, says Must Play. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, we might only be working on one striker as of right now, and I think that's absolutely right. There's no other reports that we're negotiating with Tottenham for Kane. But actually, he also reported that we were having dialogue at the same time as speaking to Atalanta in regards to Hojlund with Frankfurt in regards to Muani and stuff. So, you know, you never know. We could do a bit of business. Maybe that's more what I personally think that is. It's just PR guff to put a bit of pressure on Atalanta to say, hey, look, if you're going to not give us this player for the right amount of cash, we will start to look elsewhere. So, yeah, I wouldn't read too much into that Kolo Muani news at this moment in time, but he is perhaps a backup option for us. He is somebody that, you know, we absolutely could look at if we can't do a deal with Atalanta for Hojlund. So, you know, it's a possibility. But we should get two strikers is what I'm saying. If Man United had any bollocks about us and we want to really go for it this season and try and give what we need to Ten Hag so he can do the job required, which is play in all these different competitions with the squad, he's going to need a bigger, better squad that's more robust. And Martial's not a robust player. Martial can't be trusted even as a backup capacity. He's third choice striker in my humble opinion. And maybe even fourth choice, actually. You'd much rather see Rashford play ahead of Martial if we didn't have anybody else to play at striker. But last season we were playing with Weghorst for the second half of the season. Totally pointless. Did nothing for us. Martial was an injury-prone melter. We need two strikers to come in. We need two. I can see it happening. We've signed a centre-back, Johnny Evans, backup. Gives us what we need there. As long as Martinez and Varane stay fit, we're sorted. They won't stay fit all the season, but hopefully the majority of it, we're sorted. The midfield, we've added a couple of decent players there, or we will be if we get Amrabat. We've signed Mason Mount, of course. The midfield is looking okay. It's looking okay. It's looking pretty decent. We've got Cassie. We've got Mount. We've got Bruno. We've got Ericsson. And if we get Amrabat, we'll have enough in that department, I think, to do what we need to do. And then in the forward positions, the wide areas are rich and abundant with talent. Rashford, Sancho, Garnacho on the left. You've got Anthony, Sancho, Pellistri on the right. And then you've still got players who can play at number 9, like Rashford and Martial. But that's not enough. The team would be way better if we have a proper number 9 goal scorer who's the focal point of that attack, who can bag you all the goals. And then a backup player to come in and rotate and play in a lot of games and chip in with 15 goals throughout the season. That's what you need at this level. You can't be expecting one striker to come in. What if he gets a knock? What if he gets injured? What if he's, gets suspended for a few games? Then we're back to playing Tony Martial up top. It's not good enough. So we have to try and get two in my opinion. And I don't see why not. If you think about what we've spent so far, 110 million approximately. Well, we got to be spending at least a couple of 100 million. Let's say we can get Rasmus Højlund for 50 million euros. That's like 43 million pounds, or whatever you want to call it, 43 mil. Let's call it 150. That takes us spending up to after getting Mount, Onana and Højlund. Why can't we spend another 50 million on another forward player and spend 200 million? Arsenal have already spent about that amount of money. They spent about that amount of money last year. We spent about that amount of money last year. So there's no good reason why United can't go out there and spend a couple of 100 million, get another striker, get another forward player in. It's going to make our team a lot better. So yeah, Kudu's a good shout there, Fane. Yeah, he's obviously a player that Manchester United being linked with as well. Langy, we need Kane. Yes, we do need Kane. If we're looking at who we actually would benefit most from, I think Harry Kane's the one. By the way, guys, keep hitting that like button. How many are we on now? If we smashed 100, let's have a look. We are currently on 113 likes. Get in there, my friends. Please do hit that like button. It helps us compete with the clickbait wankers and corporations. And it's free to smash the like. Takes but a second. Give it a little tickle, my friends. Smash the thumbs up. Nice. Hey, what's going on there, Moran? Jemima says Rashford is a flying pig. You what? Marcia's more fragile than Nan's tea biscuits, mate. Great shout. Just wondering if Ten Hag threw a captain's armband in the direction of Olympic Stadium if Maguire would give chase. Goodness knows. I hope you're right. Yes, it would be great if West Ham would come in for this guy, wouldn't it? Martial isn't too reliable. No, he's not. He's like a Fiat, isn't he? If he was a car, what car would it be? He'd be a Fiat. Fiat it actually stands for fix it again, Tony. And his name's Tony Martial, so it's appropriate. Fiat stands for fix it again, Tony. Super unreliable. Always break the foot down. You know what I mean? That's Tony Martial for you. Maguire seems like a full kit wanker even at home, says Berber. Exactly. Hugo ready to play, says Rajat. You would avoid Rasmus and go all out for Kane. All right, I'm going to get a little vote in the live chat, guys. Let's get a poll on the go here. I'm going to get a poll up. Striker, preferred striker. Sorry, guys. It's going to shake a second while I type. Kane, Hojlund. I'll just add Muani in there for the bants as well. Oh, shit. Oh, I can't do it for some reason. Why is it not letting me do a poll? Oh, yeah. Oh, no, it has. I can only do 2 options, though, for some reason. That's weird. I can usually do 4. Bizarre. Anyway, okay, I'll just do a little poll between Kane and Hojlund here, guys. Get a vote on the screen there. It should pop up with a little poll in the live chat there. Have a little vote in the live chat. I would take Kane. In my opinion, Kane's exactly what we need. I'm almost bored talking about it, to be perfectly honest, so I'm not going to talk about it too much. But the 30 goals in the Premier League, he's experienced and at the age now where he wants to try and win some things with a team in the Premier League. He got that opportunity at Manchester United. There's no other club in the Premier League that fits him better than Manchester United right now, i.e. we're crying out for him. We're crying out for a proper striker. He's crying out for a home other than Spurs, somewhere he can maybe win things. Man City have got Hojlund, so he's not going there. And he's very unlikely. He's obviously not going to go across North London to Arsenal. So, yes, I mean, Man United's the only real top club that makes the most sense, if you ask me. And even London clubs like Chelsea, etc., very unrealistic. So I think if he's going to go anywhere in the Premier League, it's not going to be to a London club. It will be to Manchester United. But Man United would have to put a bid in for the guy in order to get him. And we haven't done that yet. We're not having any real dialogue with Spurs. But it's not to say that United are not perhaps still keen on him. So we're working on Hojlund, yes. But imagine if, I don't know, imagine if it came out tomorrow that Daniel Levy had accepted a £90 million offer from Bayern Munich for Harry Kane. And it was accepted. Maybe, just maybe, Man United would go in there and try and match that or beat it slightly and pay 95 million and include a player like Maguire or McTominay or something, you know, to try and sweeten the deal. It's possible Man United could have the bollocks to do so. It's unlikely, but it is possible. So, you know, maybe we're just waiting to see how the negotiations play out there in regards to Harry Kane. Yeah, we're leaving the path clear for somebody else to go in, but we did the same with Lisandro Martinez last year, if you remember. Arsenal had a few rounds of negotiations with Ajax, where they finally agreed on a fee, and then Man United just swooped in and we used Arsenal as our negotiators, basically. We didn't fanny around all summer long having a big negotiation with Ajax for him. We just waited until there was an agreement in place, and then we've gone, how's about a couple of €1 million extra, and we'll have him. And they've gone, yeah, nice one, go on then. So it's possible that that could be the case, that United are trying to work on that, but I doubt it, obviously, because it's a big amount of money that we're talking about here, and it is probably reasonably unrealistic to expect Man United to have the bollocks to do that. But I would prefer Harry Kane. So the poll, guys, at the moment is very close. We've had 63 votes. Keep voting. 55% of the live chat say Kane at the moment, and 45% say Højlund. Højlund would be an excellent candidate as well, because obviously he's super young, he's super quick, and he's a different sort of player to Kane altogether, really, that may be more befitting of what Ten Hag's trying to do in this team. He can press more, etc. So he could well be a good option for Ten Hag, and obviously it would take him time to maybe reach those heights and develop into the player that he can score 20 plus goals a season in the Prem. But he's one for now and the future. That's what we're saying. Kane, if he was 5 years younger. Do you know what? Kane's not a geriatric gaffer tape lad. He's not a geriatric yet. He's 29. Goodness me. He's still got a few years left at the top as a top forward. He literally just finished a season scoring 30 goals in the league. And he's 29. So at least for 2 years, 3 years, he's still going to be an absolute great player. There is a big difference, though, and you have to factor this in, especially when you're dealing with shithouse businessmen such as the Glazer shithousers, #Glazers out, and that is the loss of an asset. So in 3 or 4 years' time, let's say the Kane deal is very expensive. Very expensive. So even if you were to convince Tottenham to send him for 100 million, that's 100 million you've got to fork up initially to get the guy in. And then after that, you've got to pay his wages, and he would want at least £300,000 a week, maybe even getting on for £400,000 a week. Who knows? So that's a significant investment per week there. What if he gets injured? Then you're just forking out all that money for no good reason. But at the end of that contract, let's say it's a 3-year contract or a 4-year contract. At the end of that contract, Harry Kane is basically ready for the glue factory. He's 33, 34. He's not going to have much saleability in terms of transfer value. It's not like in 4 years' time you're going to be able to send him to Bayern for £90 million when he's 34. He will still have some value, but the reality is if Man United buy Harry Kane for £100 million and pay him huge wages every single week, he is going to leave in 3 or 4 years' time, probably for nothing. Which means that all of that money that you've invested, even though it's what we need right now, and he will give us what we need to score goals and be successful, in the future, he will basically be a completely depreciating asset, which is just going to go for nothing. Whereas Rasmus Højlund, he's an appreciating asset. He's somebody that if you signed him right now for 50 million euros, in 5 years' time, would probably be worth double that or treble that even. So that's the difference here. And he's cheaper in terms of the wages that you're paying. So it's a classic Glazer shithouses signing. It's a classic cop-out. It's not what Man United necessarily need the most, because what we could need the most is Harry Kane for 30 goals in the league this season would be nice. That would be the ambitious thing to do. It might be a bit more short-minded, but it's an ambitious thing to do, just like signing Casemiro was to make us this great midfielder again all of a sudden. He's older, he's experienced, he costs a lot of money, he's a depreciating asset, but he's exactly what we pig and need right now. Same goes for Harry Kane, but it's just too much of a costly deal, I think, for Man United to really want to pay, because they know that the Hojlund deal ticks a lot of the boxes in terms of appreciation of value, in terms of keeping his value, in terms of being less of a risk. So that's why I think we'll end up getting Hojlund and not Kane, but I still would rather have Kane. Sell Kane to Saudi for 60 million at age 34, says Tito Harvey. Kane for 2 years, then have Hojlund with Charlie McNeil understudy. See, now that's what we should be doing, Berber. Get both of these lads in. Get both of these lads in. Both if we have big clubolics. Precisely, yeah, we need both of these guys in. Fat Chinese Gaming says, the question is, do you want an experienced striker or a striker that you need training now for United to win the league? Well, I want the experience. In fact, I want both of them, mate. That's what United need. We need 2 strikers this summer. We actually do need a hot prospect, and then we need a ready-made baller. So Kane's a ready-made baller, Højlund's the hot prospect. Yes, it's going to take you the best part of 150 million to get both of them, but then all your investment's done for the summer. Plus, what really pisses me off about Man United is, why can't we sell players, guys? What's going on here? It's almost like they don't want to sell these players so they don't have to buy money. Because the fan base would know if we did sell all these cash players that need to go, we'd have a shitload of cash just sitting there. And it's almost like the owners don't want to have to spend the bloody cash. It's ridiculous. Think of all these guff players we could get rid of. McTominay and Fred and Maguire and Martial and Henderson and Donny van der Beek. And the list goes on. Tellez is always going. Bailly could be going. These players could generate all the cash we need to buy both of these guys, more or less, and save the money and pay for their wages. It's an absolute debacle. We're just shite in the transfer window. So there's no good reason why we can't just sell players and buy these new players. No good reason at all. Some of the players have too higher wages, which makes it an issue. Maguire, Martial, tough to sell. But other players don't. McTominay's saleable. Donny van der Beek's saleable. Henderson's saleable. These guys could easily be sold. So there is 1 or 2 players that are just priced out of the market because of their wages, and we pay them more than anybody else is prepared to pay them because we're stupid. But there is clubs that would be interested in some of these players, 100%. Why would anyone want to buy those players, though, Piggy? They're all shit, says the Bastille Rackham. Okay, it's a fair point you make, but I'm not talking about the top sides. I'm not talking about the best clubs going in for these players. I'm talking about lesser clubs. Look, Premier League. The Premier League has 20 clubs in it, and a lot of those clubs are going to finish up towards the bottom of the league. And some of those players that I mentioned would be good players for lower league standard sides, such as, Scott McTominay would be a good lower Premier League side player. So would Harry Maguire. So would Donny van der Beek. These guys could do a job for a team in the Premier League or one of the top leagues in Europe even. So, obviously not the top teams aren't going to want them, but certainly they are saleable in some capacity. All right. Do you think United should sell Victor Lindelof? No, I don't actually, to be fair, FCG. Lindelof's still ahead of Evans, in my opinion. Evans, a 35-year-old backup ready to come in and take any sort of need to play Harry Maguire out of Ten Hag's head. That's it. Now it's time to sell Maguire. Maguire is on the scrap heap, mate. So Evans has come in to be a direct replacement, I think, for Harry Maguire, and probably a better one as well. Right, let's just cover the rest of the news. So in regards to Højlund, guys, as I say, it looks like they're trying to work on a deal for within 10 days. Their coach wants clarification on the matter. He doesn't want to have long, drawn-out, protracted negotiations last all summer long because he wants to know what his squad's shaping up like for the new Serie A season. So they probably will try and do business with us. And if Man United can reach an agreement with Atalanta soon, that'd be great. And as that tweet at the top there suggests from Fab an hour ago, that he understands that Man United will send the open and official proposal to Atalanta for Rasmus Højlund soon. And Man United obviously want to avoid any hijack from PSG as they're currently speaking to the players' camp. Højlund's agreed terms with United. Happy days. Just on that deal as well, and on Donny van de Beek, we just mentioned him. So this is a report coming out from James Ducker from The Telegraph that suggests that Donny van de Beek's future is still uncertain. The possibility of him being included in the Rasmus Højlund deal was discussed, but Atalanta only wants cash. So we talked about a few players who've been offered to Atalanta. Maybe Diallo, maybe Fred, maybe Donny, maybe Greenwood in some capacity. But they seem to be, as per reports anyway, standing pretty firm on the fact that they don't want a player in return and they do just want a cash-only deal, which is a shame because it would have been a good possibility to keep that price tag low and kill two birds with one stone by getting rid of a want away or a player who's just surplus to requirements. Unfortunately, they don't want any of our cast-offs. They're very tough to sell. Wages may be an issue, etc. But Donny van de Beek was supposedly offered to them as a make weight as well. Just on another piece of information we got here, guys, in regards to one of our players who's being sold, Telles. So unless there's been an update as I've been doing the show, this is the latest situation with Alex Telles. So we were expecting him to go and join Al Nassr. And at this moment in time, it says, from Fab here anyway, Manchester United are still waiting for Al Nassr to sign documents for Alex Telles' deal after verbal agreement on £4 million fee and £7 million salary per year, which works out 134k a week, by the way. Al Nassr have asked for more time to sign and complete the deal, more to follow. So we're just waiting for a little bit more information on that. I wouldn't be surprised if Man United are getting bent over here and this deal falls through, to be perfectly fair, because that's a lot of money to be paying Alex Telles per week. I know Saudi Arabian clubs are just chucking money at players over there. But 134 grand a week for Telles, are they mental? Are they mental? 7 million a year? That's madness. But anyway, so we're still waiting to confirm that deal. That deal is actually not done and confirmed as of right now. The only other news we've got is obviously Bailly is expected to be sold this summer as well. Onana, a little bit on Onana. So the players have arrived in the USA here, guys. Today, warm welcome from the fans over there. Get in there, my son. Ten Hag and the players arriving over in the US. Happy days. New captain Bruno there, obviously. Cassie there, Rashi there. All these lads are there. The tour squad is up there in the top right-hand corner if you want to check out who's actually part of the tour squad. But Onana is expected to travel to America to meet up with the squad. I mean, this is from MEN, but reports are that Andre Onana has been pictured at Manchester Airport as he prepares to fly out to America to meet up with the squad. So he could be playing for Manchester United reasonably soon. Let's hope that's the case. We're still waiting for the official announcement on Andre Onana as well from Manchester United, just to confirm that the deal is there and that he is done. But obviously it is 99.9% done there, guys. Happy days, Andre Onana. So he'll be joining up with us for the pre-season tour very soon as possible. We'll keep you posted on that. Nice one. Right, okay then. Let's get into the live chat, guys. It's Q&A time. Bruno Fernandes is the new captain. Happy days. Beautiful stuff. The Portuguese Magnifico. Oh, yes. There he is. The Portuguese Magnifico is the new captain. We're working on Hojlund. There's a bid expected to be coming very, very soon. Now let's get stuck into the live chat and have a little bit of a Q&A with you legends for a while. As always, smash a like on this video if you haven't done so. Drop a little like on it. That will help the stream out and helps the channel out. It's free. Drop a like. Share us around on social media. I'll go over to Twitter in a minute and shout out everyone who's retweeted the tweet that's pinned to the top of the chat. Go over there, retweet the stream if you can. That'd be much appreciated. Hey there, Ice Queen Gaming. I hope you're doing well today. Get in there, you legend. How are you doing? But yes, everyone go and retweet the stream. We'll shout you out and then we'll get into the live chat as well. Onana's posted on his Instagram, has he? What's he posted? Oh, okay, brilliant. Onana has said his goodbyes to Inter fans on Insta. Oh, thank you very much indeed for that, Flying Pig United fan. Yes. So he's put a goodbye statement on there as well, saying goodbye to Inter. So he's basically a Man United player now, isn't he? Get in there, my son. Claire Farron says, I do worry that Hojlund hasn't scored double figures in the season. Is it too much too early and we'll decide he's average not good enough? I'm not so sure. I think he looks very, very good and he'll develop very well. There's always going to be an element of you've got to speculate to accumulate with a young player. He's obviously got talent. There's so many things that can go wrong with a young player's career, though. What if they've not got the right mentality? What if they've not got the right professionalism? What if they get a big injury? So nothing's guaranteed here that he'll develop into one of the world's best. We're just hoping that he will. But that's all the more reason why we should get two strikers, somebody else, as well as Hojlund, who's very experienced, to help us just in case that does actually happen. Right, let's have a little look at the Twitter, guys. Please do give us a follow on Twitter, Flying Pig United, if you haven't done so. Drop a little subscribe on this video as well if it's your first time here. If you haven't ever been on the channel, we cover all the latest United news in a no bullshit way. So make sure you click the old subscribe button if you happen to be new to this stream. Okay, thank you to everyone who's retweeted the show. We've got 15 retweets over there. Get in there, you beauties. Thank you, everyone. Stephen Braun, Ryan, a.k.a. Berberspin, a.k.a. the Gaming Sim. Thank you very much indeed, lad, for the retweet. Mr. Sims, Cal L, Matty Norton, BMZR, Kieran Watts, Feline Fur, Boomy, John Boy Cat, Kane, United Mark, Greg, and Luan France. Get in there, Luan, and everyone else. Thank you so much for retweeting the show. It really does help. Thank you, guys. Much love, much love. Right, time to get into the chat then. We'll stick around for a few minutes and read a bunch of comments out. Have your say. Let's be going. Oh, the Trooper. Yes, what a legend. Hope you're keeping well, my friend. Thank you, Kieran. Thank you, Berber. Glazers' ownership have been a nightmare for our club, says Gregory Burke. Spot on. They need to piss off. Police loan 100%. I'd keep him, to be fair. You would work with better investment players. Fair play, Carlton Dixon, lad. Anthony and Rashford have to learn to cross and pass the ball to the eventual striker. Well, that's true, Andy Kendrick. That is true. We don't give the right service to the number 9 over the last year or two, historically. That's very true. Even Ronaldo was frustrated with it towards the end. So Hojlund's just got 2 assists in 3 minutes and a goal. We should sign him at all costs. Yeah, I saw that. I know. You just retweeted. Thank you, FCG, for retweeting the show, mate. Much love. I appreciate that, dude. Get in there. Win on cheapest Glazers motto, says Rajat. Paul Liebenberg says, great show, Pig Top Man. Thank you, Paul Liebenberg, lad. Ice Queen says, I'm okay. My meds arrived yesterday. Well, I hope they do the job for you, Ice Queen Game, and I really, really do. And I hope you feel better soon. Gregory Burke says, I joined Twitter to retweet these live streams. Get in there, Gregory Burke. Love it. Thank you so much. Sancho out, says Claire Farron. If we could sell him, I would sell him. But we can't sell him because he's on too much money. We don't need a sugar daddy. Well, we don't because we're a self-sustaining beast, but a sugar daddy would be nice. Langy, have a great day, mate. Thank you for gifting out 5 memberships on the channel. You are a don. Thank you very much, Langy86. He says, thanks for the fun. Thank you very much for all that you do, my friend. Much love. Have a great day. Haven't watched Mount Play Pig. How has he been in a red shirt so far? Bang bloody average, if we're being totally honest. Bang bloody average. Honestly, over the 2 games that we've seen from him, he's only played half and a half. But over the 2 games, I'd give him a 5 or a 6 out of 10. Probably a 5 out of 10, if I'm honest. Not really covered himself in glory, but they're just pre-season games. It's a chance for him to get the fitness up, obviously settle in at United. I'm expecting a lot more from him. My personal opinion on him is he's overrated and he's not all that. But I hope I'm wrong. But for the first 2 games, I'd say he's been pretty bang average. Hey, no worries, the Trooper. I don't even know what you're referring to, lad. I'd have Andrew Tate as our chairman if it meant Glazers are gone, says Mikey. Mount and Cas midfield going to be wild, says Claire. So, yeah, so we could have Bruno, Mount and Casemiro making up the midfield, either having Bruno in the cam role and Mount a bit deeper, which you saw him play in the last game a bit deeper, or we could even see Bruno playing a bit deeper, spreading the play, and have Mount a little bit more advanced up the pitch with Cas holding. So it gives us a few options. It's going to be a nice looking midfield, I think, yeah. Great stuff. Definitely Patricio, mate. Who's going to watch that shower of shite on a Thursday night, lad? Anyway, guys, right, okay. I'd better wrap this stream up. Thank you so much to everyone for getting in here. We have been on here for 1 hour and 3 minutes, so we're going to finish this stream here. Amrabat, hopefully we're working on it. Obviously, Fiorentina want about 30 million plus. It depends on if United are prepared to pay that amount of money. We'll see. We'll give you the news on that as and when it happens. Hey, good luck, Adewale. Let's get some hashtag good lucks in the live chat for Adewale. Hope you boss your driving test, mate. Good luck to you, my friend. Yeah, it's not dead. It's not dead, superstar. Thank you very much, Berber. Thank you, everyone in the live chat, guys. Appreciate you all. Thanks to all the moderators like Berber and Gungshi and Futinator and the Hoot Man and everyone for moderating the chat. Thank you to all the members like Mikey and Rajat and Boomy, Dynamic Melon, Kieran, Andrew Kendrick, Paul Liebenberg, FCG, Rajat, Gregory Burke, and everybody else as well. Thank you to Ice Queen. Thank you to Keshav, Mr. U, Elliot, Patricio, and everybody else who's got in the live chat. We're going to wrap this stream up now, but you can come back after it's finished. Please do, and get your thoughts in about, Bruno Fernandes as the new captain. If you don't think Bruno should have been the captain, who should have been? Come back and let us know. Also, have your say about Rasmus Højlund or Kane or Kolo Muani, or who you think we should go and get there afterwards. Come back and have your say in the Not Live comment section. Make sure you drop a like on this video. Get in there, Primo. Drop a like on this video before you go. Smash the like and subscribe if you're new and click the bell icon for notifications. And follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Twitch and TikTok and Kick at Flying Pig United. Tick. That's a new one. Flying Pig United on all of those social media platforms. Yeah, go and give us a follow there. And also check out the website, flyingpigunited.com. Check out the website there if you want to read your United news. But have a good one, everyone. Stay classy. Thanks so much for getting in here. The Hoop Man, Duncan, Chris, Luan, France, and everybody else. God bless you all. See you later, guys. Stay classy and keep a lookout for the evening's United news. We'll be back on around about 9:30 or 10 p.m. to cover all the latest goings on for tonight's show. So stay classy and keep your eyes peeled for that show. Click the bell icon for notifications so you get that one. And I'll see you there later, guys. About 9:30, 10 p.m. we'll be on for the evening show. God bless you all. Stay classy. Have a good one. And remember, when the seagulls follow the trawler, as this is because they think sardines will be thrown into the sea. Thank you very much.